Hello, I'm fixing my nose ring. Sorry. Okay. I am back. I'm gonna share my screen. Give me a second. Window. We'll start here. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about character design and when to know when your character design is not working for you. I have had these characters designed since I started working on this manga. And one thing that's consistently been a problem for me over the years is drawing their hairlines. With black hair, you don't have as much leeway as you do when the hair is like a lighter color. So I have this character Yanni, which is she's the one with the locks right here. If you zoom in, I just draw like a couple of little lines indicate her hairline. Very simple, very easy. Okay. Now, the issue I'm here is that I actually have to fill in their hairline. And more so for Tori, who has the fairer skin, it's difficult to draw her hairline because her skin is already so fair. It looks really blunt sometimes. Not to say that it can't look better because it can. I just need to figure out a way that's easier. I also hate doing this. This right here, I hate. Now, I have other brushes in my Clip Studio Paint, which, not Clip Studio Paint, in my Procreate, which I have to Clip Studio. But I was kind of troubleshooting the idea of using a wispier hairbrush with her and then indicating some harsher lines here. But I was thinking like, I don't know if I even like that too. Now I have seen in manhwa where they'll do like an airbrush around the hairline and then indicate those lines. The other thing is features that are just common with just Black people in general, trying to figure out how to indicate those features and those stylistic choices and translate them from being too realistic to simplification that still like your brain processes it as what it is. So for example, this little wisp right here, and I've always wanted to like include edges. That girl lays her edges. I'm definitely not the type of person that does it every single day when I do wear my afro out. And this character right here, she's not really one to do that either. But same thing, I just feel like I need to simplify this hairline a lot more for it to translate, for it to just be easier to draw on a regular basis, honestly. That way I don't have to slow down my speed. So if we go back to this page, I drew May's hairline with these triangles. So what I did was I looked at some where's my notes? Hold on. Open up my notes. No. There we go. All right. So how I troubleshoot things, I take it in steps. So I looked at the idea of realism versus simplification. What is my problem right now? My current dilemma is that the features I want to present on my characters are hard to repeat in black and white, and the hair has been just as much of a struggle to draw as hands. I struggle with drawing straight hair specifically. Like afro textures I'm cool on typically because of stylization. The things that typically bother me with drawing hair, I can fudge and ignore certain issues just for with my style alone. But it's become a bit of a cop-out, and straight hair still eludes me. Making straight hair look dynamic when it's pretty stagnant is hard, especially if you're not like the type of person drawing like Yu-Gi-Oh type hair, you know? So there's that. So myself the question, what is the reality that I am trying to convey? which is my characters are Black girls, or the ones that I'm struggling with right now, they're Black girls. And the style of hair that I want to convey, I'm having a hard time translating it into an anime style. Specifically the laid edges and the hair swoops. These are not commonly seen in manga and anime, so it's a little bit more culturally specific. And because of this cultural specificity, I have chosen to include it in my art as a nod to how I grew up. But there's limited resources around it because it's not common. So, is there anything I'm willing to sacrifice visually to achieve my goal? And the answer is no. I want the swoop and I want the edges. Can't sacrifice that. Let's see. So then I said, where do I start to study when I want to achieve this goal? So I looked at anime hairlines specifically from the 90s and the 80s because they're the ones that had that like deep like hair that you could see like a peak of the hairline. And that's kind of like with let's see. Okay. What I was trying to convey with May right here was that like real, yeah, without it being like overly exaggerated. And same thing with Nora over here. If I zoom in, you can see like it's not as crazy. It's like I keep referencing Yu-Gi-Oh because that's what I think of because the Yu-Gi-Oh characters, they have that like crazy bang and then that situation there. But I want to get away from this and just make it more simplified, which is why I went with just the two. But this little cowlick or like little swoop in the front, that. So I didn't want to sacrifice that either. Now, Tori is the one that's still causing me problems because I don't know. I did this with the wispy hairbrush on my Clip Studio before I transferred it into my not Clip Studio. I did it on my Procreate before I transferred it into Clip Studio. Now, and I'm sorry, you guys, I am sick. I've been sick for like 2 weeks. Now, I don't think I want one of these hairlines for her. I don't think so. I looked at Simu from Yakta, and I like hers, but I don't know. I just don't know if I wanted that for Tori. I'm going to try it out, but I feel like that's not something I want to do for her. I could simplify it a little bit more. So you have this 1, 2, 3. If I do it like that, good Lord, okay, sorry. So that's 1, 2, 3. To do it again, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, so we got 3 spikes. I mean, that could work. That could work. Okay, let me go back over here. This is the other part. I need to make sure her anatomy is a little bit off here too. So I'm going to fix that, I think. Here. All right, so we're going from the swoop. The swoop needs to be here. And then we go 1, 2, 3. All right, that could work. And that's easily repeatable because I want some consistency. So let's get to this panel, this frame. Or hold on, let me. We'll open this up. I'm going to drop this in here underneath the ink layer. No, need it above the ink layer. Okay. I'm going to lower the opacity. And then what else am I going to do? Okay. Now that we have that, I'm going to lower the opacity of the ink layer as well. And I'm going to just get rid of that. Go back to the line art layer. Get rid of my initial lines. And we're going to start here. 1, 2. Okay. Already, like how that looks. So we're gonna, I just turned on the little reference lighthouse thing for the line art layer. I'm just gonna fill in the black. This video isn't gonna be long, only because I did most of this work off camera. Like literally last night, I was laying in bed, supposed to be sleep, but ADHD was ruining. So, in the midst of not being able to sleep, I had this running through my mind because I had worked on my manga earlier that day. And was just, I kept thinking about like what the problem was I was having, and it came to me that it was literally the hairlines that were bothering me. They weren't something that I wanted to draw consistently. Like every time it came down to do the hair, I would have the same like begrudging feeling as I did when I would draw hands. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and erase this whole eyebrow. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna raise this up, turn. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I like that either. Let's use it in clear. All right, maybe if I do it like that so that it still looks like there's wisps. And then if I come on the top layer And actually, I think that works, but let me. And then they've been out, so her hair is supposed to be a little bit more on the messier side right now. Okay. I think that's how I'm going to do it. That is called problem solving. We love it. We love to see it. Back to this ink. Bam, that needs to be black. Okay. That's it. That's all I got for y'all. I'm going to do the rest of this off camera, but I just wanted to show you guys my thought process. I thought it was cool. I don't know. All right. Okay, bye.